Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, nice to meet you if you're new, and today I figured since we're all in quarantine, why don't I help you get better at your makeup? I mean, you have time, don't you? I hope you have time. I learned several tips and tricks the past few months which have really upped my makeup game, and I thought I'd share them with you to help you out. And real quick before I get into the tips, please do subscribe down below. I would love to see you back. I upload videos on makeup, hair, skin, and so much more. I would love to have you in for those, so go ahead and do that real quick and then we'll get on with it. Alright guys, I brought you in a little bit closer so you can see what in the world I'm doing to my face. And my eyeshadow's done and it looks a little crazy, but trust me, it'll come out okay in the end. That's what I keep telling myself. Just trust me on this one. Alright guys, my first tip is to pair your foundation and primer according to your skin type. If you have a drier skin type, I would recommend a more hydrating primer generally. And oily skin types should try a more silicone-y or less hydrating primer. That's just generally, because if you do the other way around where you're dry skin and you wear silicone-y something, it might be too dry and your foundation looks cakey. Or if you're wearing a super hydrating primer on top of oily skin, you might just look dewy or oily really fast after you apply your makeup. And it won't look as good for as long. It might just start breaking up. Now regarding foundations for your skin type, if you have drier skin, you generally want to avoid matte foundations or just apply very small amounts because it's going to make your skin look drier, emphasize texture, it is going to look a little cakey. And generally, if you have oilier skin, you want to avoid the dewier hydrating foundations because they're just going to make you look a little oilier faster or look overly dewy and your makeup might start breaking apart. It's the same thing with the primers. Now I have combination skin, kind of leaning on the drier side because we're coming out of winter here. So I'm going to do a few things for my skin today. I want a dewy kind of glow to it. So I'm going to take the Hangover RX 3-in-1 setting spray and primer. This is a hydrating primer but not overly hydrating. It absorbs well into the skin. I'm going to combine it with a slightly more hydrating foundation, the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. These two together should give my skin that glowy effect. I also did my brows already because I wanted to focus on the face for this video. Okay, tip number 2. If you have acne prone skin like me, you probably have got a lot of hyperpigmentation and problems on your skin. I recommend doing your concealer before your foundation. So you want to apply a creamy concealer to your skin to hide and correct for the blemishes. My all-time favorite concealer to use for blemishes and hyperpigmentation is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and I'm using the shade Biscuit or Medium Dark 1. This stuff is creamy and it is a wonderful concealer to hide hyperpigmentation or blemishes. Especially use this if I'm wearing thinner foundation. It's going to make up for that lack of coverage. So I'm going to apply it to all the blemishes to hide that discoloration. Also, I'm using a finger to apply the concealer onto my acne. If you use a brush, I tend to notice there is piling up of product on areas that are flaky. I want to avoid that. Using your finger can help your skin look a little bit smoother and help the texture look a little less obvious. This is going to give you that full coverage effect while still being able to get away with a lighter foundation. Also, you want to dab it. When you dab, it really helps in evening out the blemish and getting that product evenly distributed across the blemish. If you streak, it might get stuck in one part, especially if you have a little drier skin. Also, excuse my hair, guys. It is my natural hair. I did not put any styler on it yet. And it's kind of flying everywhere. So that's just going to be happening during the video. But anyway, after the concealer, my skin looks so much better and it just looks even and it just looks better as a base for makeup. Okay guys, tip number 3 is with your foundation. So if you have textured acne prone skin like me, what you want to do is first use a brush and stipple your foundation rather than swipe, because when you swipe it's going to leave streaks everywhere. Stipple it in like so. And then you want to go over it with your beauty blender. Here's the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. This foundation is a little more liquidy, a little more dewy and hydrating finish. I like to dot the foundation as much as I can everywhere on the face. not up there. Forehead is last. And now you want to take a brush first and you want to stipple that foundation into your skin. This is going to help if you have texture to really get that foundation into your skin and create an even layer of coating. You could go in with a beauty blender first. It is the same idea. However, I notice when I use a beauty blender, it takes away heavier coverage. If you want a lighter coverage, you can do that, but I just want a dewy look, not necessarily lighter coverage. So I'm going to do the brush first. Now, as you can see, I've got one layer of foundation on. It is nice, even. I'm going to go in with a second squirt here just to get my left cheek a little better. I wasn't able to get as much on here the first time around. And don't forget your neck. That is one that everyone forgets. And I'm just stippling that in. Gently bounce the brush. You're gonna get it into like every nook and cranny. Now with my neck, I do kind of streak it because it's like less noticeable. But if you're worried about streaking on your neck, just go over it with a beauty blender. All right, I am going to take a beauty sponge and I'm just gonna go over my face lightly, just, you know, lightly pouncing it on there. This is going to make the application look a lot more seamless. Just make sure there are no brush strokes anywhere. It's also going to lightly remove a small amount of product. So do it gently, otherwise you will lose some foundation. Yeah, that's it for the face. It just looks so much more airbrushed. Tip number 4, you want to outline your brows using your foundation. That is the reason why I did not go over my forehead yet, because I wanted to show you how I outline. So I'm going to take some of that foundation, just a little at first. I'm going to take a skinnier brush and I'm going to draw around my brows, because you want the foundation to be evenly applied over your forehead, but at the same time, you don't want your brows to be overtaken if you already did your brows. So I'm just gonna outline them with the foundation, and I'm also gonna go down the side of my face just to make sure I've got all areas covered. And I don't go in with too heavy of a layer. At first, I just like that. I just want to get it covered. Create that shape. Okay, and that's how you avoid messing up your brows when you do your forehead. Because if you just go on with this gigantic brush and start trying to get the foundation everywhere, it is going to get everywhere, including in your eyebrows. So this is going to prevent that. I actually sometimes just go in with this little brush and just do my whole forehead with it. But it really depends on what kind of foundation you're using. But usually once I have that small layer on my eyebrows, I will build up from there if I want more. But it really helps to use a small brush to be a little more precise, a little more exact. Let's finish this forehead. So again, I'm still stippling it in. I'm just avoiding the area by the eyebrows because that's already done. My forehead is not breaking out right now, so I'm gonna go with just a light layer of foundation. I don't need anything heavy for coverage. I just need it to be even to the rest of my face. Okay, and just to make sure this looks airbrushed and even with my face, I'm gonna finish with that beauty blender. That is how I apply my foundation to my face. The exact method I use. Right, the next part of your face is your concealer and your contour. I'm gonna do concealer first. So how much concealer do you put on? It really depends on what kind of look you're going for. Generally, less concealer, less coverage, more concealer, more coverage, but you want to take into account what kind of concealer you have. Do you have a full coverage concealer, medium coverage, light coverage? Because you're gonna want to use more or less depending on what kind of concealer it is. Well, as I told you at the beginning of the video, I'm trying to go for that dewy, natural, glowy skin look. So I'll be using the Smashbox Studio Skin Concealer. This is more of a natural finish. Since it's not heavy, but I want that coverage, I'm actually going to apply my concealer like this. I'm going to take a streak downwards, and I'm gonna swing it out to the side, all the way to where my eye makeup is. And then I'm gonna fill in the area between the two lines I made. And you have a triangle. When I used to see people do this, I thought they were crazy. I was like, that's way too much concealer. Why would you ever do that? I don't get it. But now that I do it, I'm like, oh my gosh. For photos, it makes a huge difference. Like, it really helps your skin to look more cohesive, more connected. Like, there are less like discrepancies between the depths in your skin. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, your skin just looks better. So that's my tip on concealer. That triangle method does look great for photos. Hey guys, real quick, just wanted to say from here on out, the numbers are going to be a little bit off. Look at the number at the bottom of the screen for what number tip I'm on. What I say is not the right number because I had an extra tip that I forgot about. Okay, that's all. Back to the video. For contour, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the shade Earth. Now, whether you want to go with cream contour or powder contour is all up to you. Just remember, if you're going to use a cream like this, you want to set it. Tip number 5 is about contouring. It's all about the angle. The angle at which you draw your lines is going to be what changes your face drastically. I used to make my angle kind of low, and that makes your cheekbones look lower. So you want to go higher. It's generally higher cheekbones is considered more flattering on most face types. But if you have a different face type, just take that into consideration. But I'm going to go ahead and draw that line slightly above where I would want my cheekbone to be. Because when you blend it, the product is going to go a little bit above and a little bit below where you draw your line. So if you draw the line a little above, it's going to help with keeping that illusion in the right place. Okay, I've got that down. Now, tip number 6, if you have applied too much contour to your face, you can save it if you apply concealer over it. So in my case, I didn't even blend out my concealer yet, but what I'm gonna do is mix my contour and concealer together to make the contour a little more toned down and to make the whole look a little more cohesive. So I'm gonna take a tighter packed brush and I'm going to blend this out and erase that line. I have blended out that contour and now I'm going to take the beauty sponge and I'm going to blend out that concealer. So first I'm going to blend it along my lower lash line and outwards past the eye area, and then I'm going to blend it slightly downwards over the contoured area, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So as you can see, I'm kind of blending out that line between the contour and the concealer, and this is just going to make the contour look a little more natural. And there we have it. That is how it looks blended out. Also, just to finish contouring, I'm going to just contour my face shape. I just want to look a little more oval. If you've applied too much contour, go over it with your beauty sponge and just bounce your beauty sponge over that contour, and you are going to absorb some of that contour so it's not as intense. Next, I'm going to set my face using the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Setting Powder. I'm just going to set it with a thin layer. I'm not going to bake the under eyes since I am going for a natural look today. Okay, I'm going to finish my eye makeup and I will be right back. Okay guys, I have finished my eyes. It is so funny. I did not want to wear big lashes today, but then when I put the small lashes on, they were just too small. So we have big lashes on, but that's okay. Now, the next tip, I lost track of what number we're on, but whatever is next. If you have a powder, blush, and highlight and you want them to stick out a little more, what you want to do is set your face first and put that powder on top. It's going to help that powder be a little more pigmented and a little more loud than it would be when you are setting afterwards. Now for blush, I'm going to use the NARS Orgasm blush. This does have a little sparkle to it, but it's okay. And also when it comes to blushes, I tend to go a little heavier because I feel like they don't show up as much on camera. But if you are just having an event in real life with not too many pictures, don't go heavy. You're gonna look crazy. Oh, that's all the sparkle. Do I even need a highlight? Okay guys, that blush actually added a lot more sparkle and a lot less blush color. So I'm going to just bounce on top of it with my Tarte Amazonian clay. On the good side, I don't think I need a highlighter. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it looks pretty in real life. All right, so powder is done afterwards, and you can see that it's a lot more pigmented and bright than it would be otherwise. I was gonna throw on a highlighter, but my cheeks are kind of really shiny, so I will throw on a lip, make my hair look a little more decent, and I will be right back. All right guys, I am back. I finished my hair, threw on my lipstick, and I have to say, I never wear my hair naturally, but I'm really digging the amount of volume I have. It just looks so nice. And the eyes, oh my gosh, I love these eyes. I was trying to match my shirt. If you want to see the picture, check out my Instagram. But I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope that you learned some tips and tricks that can help you when you apply your makeup. Just those little details, they make all the difference. Even though they just seem like small little things, they really do change the look. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe down below. I would love to see you back. And I hope you guys are staying safe. I will see you next time. Bye.